Wow, I wish my operating system had this aesthetic. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at 2 official themes for both the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 for Windows. These are official themes that Microsoft sanctioned, and we're going to be doing it all on real hardware. This is a Dell Latitude D530, so let's go ahead and jump into this. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at the official Xbox and Xbox 360 themes for Windows XP. Well, Windows XP isn't the only operating system these work with. Just for the sake of convenience, we're going to be sticking with XP, and that's definitely the OS that these were targeting, but I do know for a fact that the original Xbox theme will at least partially work on Windows 2000. And the 360 theme I know won't work on anything older than XP, but it may work on Vista. I'm not entirely sure, I've never tried it, but that may work. And the original Xbox theme may even work on Windows 9X, and the reason for that is these themes do not use the official, built-in Microsoft XP theme engine, the stuff that makes the Luna theme look like the Luna theme instead of, the classic theme. And of course, there were also, the different variants like the silver theme and stuff like that. These are not actually using that. These use a third-party piece of software called Window Blinds. And Window Blinds still exists today as a paid piece of software. I believe there's also a free version still. But Window Blinds was a very popular piece of software, especially back in the XP era, because there were a ton of themes made for this. In fact, you may have seen the Michael MJD video where he talked about the Nintendo themes for Windows, and those also used Window Blinds. I do think it's pretty funny that Microsoft had basically officially sanctioned themes that used third-party software that kind of modified their OS. I find that pretty funny. But if you want to try these themes out, I am going to upload these to archive.org. Most of them are already on archive.org, but I'm just going to put them all in one convenient download for you. And these are the files that are going to be included. Now, this one is the 360 one. This one installs with a exe. These ones are a little bit more complicated for the original Xbox theme, and let me talk about that. So I already have Window Blinds installed. This is Window Blinds 6, and this is a little bit newer than I really was going to install. However, the problem is finding the registered enhanced version of Window Blinds is a lot easier said than done these days. You can find the free versions pretty easily. That's what these are. The problem is some of these have time limits, so you can only use them for I think 30 days. And they also don't theme everything that some of these themes are capable of doing. For example, the scroll bars are not able to be themed with the free versions, and I know for a fact the original Xbox theme does have custom scroll bars, so that's kind of important. We kind of want that. I had to track down the enhanced version. I finally did manage to find a single download for it. It's on a fairly popular site that people use for archiving. I think you can probably take it from there. And I actually had to do this kind of weird crack to get it to work, but it seemed legit enough, and it doesn't seem like the system has been infected with any viruses yet, so I think we're doing all right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this going. So this here, this is the only actual true theme file. These are the media player skins, and I'll touch on that a little bit. But yeah, we can double click on this, and Window Blinds should just say that it's installed. And it looks like it's already going to apply it. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Now, I believe in the older versions of Window Blinds, it's supposed to automatically set the wallpaper, but I think the newer version kind of breaks that. But here we go. Now we can see it does include the wallpaper, which you've probably seen if you've ever seen images of this theme. Yes. Now that is just glorious. The theme by itself, I think, is all right, but the wallpaper really sells it. This is an awesome wallpaper. Now, this theme was created by a company or just a website called The Skin Factory. So yes, this was not made by Microsoft, and I believe the 361 was also not made by Microsoft, but these were officially sanctioned by them. So when you downloaded the theme, this is technically the only file you were supposed to get. These media player skins, which you've also probably seen if you've ever seen screenshots of this theme, as far as I know, these are entirely separate. They just match so well that it makes sense that people would use them together. Before we get to Media Player, let's take a look at some of the changes that the theme does to Windows. So it does not change any of the icons, and it doesn't change stuff like the shutdown dialog, but it changes a lot of the other stuff. So you can see our start button, our taskbar are changed. Kind of disappointed they don't change like the Windows flag to the Xbox logo, but that's whatever. See, we get an Xbox logo up here. I love the way the start menu looks. This is pretty awesome looking. If we look in here, see, yes, here's our themed scroll bars that I wanted to show off so much. This really adds to the overall look and feel. I do kind of wish they could change this, but that may be a little too advanced to change without changing like system files. See, our like navigation buttons are all different. And you'll notice that at the top of each window, some extra stuff has been added. We get this Xbox logo here, but you'll notice this is actually a button. If we click on this, this will actually take us to xbox.com, and of course Internet Explorer is not happy. And of course we can't view this because this is trying to take us to the modern Xbox website. But here's what it would have looked like around 2004, 2005. I did try to pull up the 2002 version of the website, which is when this theme seems to have first been available. However, the archives all seem to be broken, so you have to go with a slightly later one, but that's roughly what it would have taken you to. Now, why you need this on every single window, I don't know, but it's there. I guess if you were really wanting to check up on the latest Xbox news and you're like, oh man, I need to go to it as fast as I can can just click on it right there, I guess. And then you also notice there's 2 extra buttons added here. This button, basically, this is called window shading. At least that's how I know it's called. This was kind of a more popular thing on non-Windows OSs. I believe some Linux GUIs had this, but most prominently the classic Mac OS gave you the ability to do this. Now, I'll be honest, I don't entirely know why someone would want to do this when you could just minimize the window, but it's there as an option, and that's something you can't do on stock Windows. So that's pretty interesting. And then you notice this little button here, this opens up Windows Media Player. Now, like I said, the Media Player themes are not really a part of the window blinds theme. However, there are 3 different versions of a official Xbox skin for Windows Media Player. And the skins do not apply to this big thing. There's a skin mode, and then there's the full screen mode. And the only way I know how to install these is to just double-click on these and tell it to, like install it basically, and then view it. Yeah, there we go. Get a neat little animation there. Now, this seems to be the less common version. It looks almost identical to the other version, which is this one. And this one is sometimes bundled with this WBA window blinds file. If we launch this one, you'll see that it looks pretty much the same. It has a bit of a different animation, but it has this kind of broken element down here. It doesn't really look right, so I prefer this theme. I think the animation is cooler, and of course you don't end up with that broken thing at the bottom here, which I think is the volume. I think that's what's broken. See here, you click on this, you get this cool window. Shows you, basically trying to get you to buy an Xbox, I guess, if you didn't already own one. Media player skins were pretty popular in the, early, mid-2000s, so makes sense that Microsoft would make this, and I don't know if they made the media player skin themselves. They might have. I don't really know where this came from. I just downloaded these from a media player skin archive site. So there's a bunch of other themes you can get there too. Now there is one other official Xbox skin, and it looks very different compared to the other ones. This is the Xbox Live skin, and as you'll see, yeah, it's got this orange theme to it. And this one also has sound effects too, which is pretty neat. I don't have the sound capture set up on the computer at the moment, but I'll capture some recordings of what this sounds like so you can get a feel of what you're in for. And it also incorporates some sounds that are from the Xbox, like, dashboard. Like, I know that sound is definitely a sound from, I think, like, the memory card screen. I think I prefer this combination of the green Xbox theme with the Xbox Live media player skin. I think it adds a nice contrast, but yeah, the green skin is also nice. And that's pretty much it for the original Xbox skin. It doesn't do anything too crazy, but it does change windows, pretty significantly. And I definitely think that this is pretty neat. All right, now for the Xbox 360 theme. This one comes in an executable, and I believe that's because this customizes way more of the operating system. Now, I believe this also does use window blinds. It's using something called Theme Manager, which I believe is a similar thing, also from Stardock, the same company that does window blinds. This is all part of their, object desktop suite. Now, this says Xbox 360. This is Xbox 360 Black, which I don't actually know what the difference is. I guess we'll compare them and look. This is Xbox 360 Full and Xbox 360 Lite. So I guess we're going to go through all four of these. Now, truth be told, I have not actually ever ran this, so I don't actually really know what it's going to do. Advanced. Okay, so this kind of gets some, I guess, customization options here. So we're going to go ahead and apply. All right, we already got our wallpaper. Taken quite a while compared to the normal theme, and it appears it has not quite worked fully. I'm going to go ahead and unload window blinds. Probably would have been wise to do before trying to install the 360 theme, but I don't think it'll be a big deal. Okay, so after troubleshooting, I think what the problem is I had to downgrade to window blinds 5, which I believe was the latest version at the time that the 360 theme came out. It seems like this doesn't work properly with window blinds 6, or at least I wasn't figuring out how to make it work. But now we can see that all of our stuff is applying correctly, so we can finally move on. That was like 10 minutes of trying to figure that out. So as we can see, this is way more extensive than the original Xbox theme. Of course, we still got much of the, window changes, title bar, taskbar, start menu, that kind of stuff. It also adds this icon, which just takes us to this little theme manager window. You can see we got different icons. Completely changes out the icons, and I don't know entirely how to feel about these. I like that, it's a little 360 as your My Computer. That's pretty cool. These folder icons really mess with me, because they don't really look like folders to me. They kind of almost look like memory units. The original Fat 360 kind of memory units, sort of. But it's definitely a little bit jarring to get used to. I imagine I could eventually get used to it, but they changed everything. They changed the sidebar here. We get different artwork and the background of some of the windows. The start menu looks great. I love this theme. I am a very big fan of the original styling of the Xbox 360, the original fat model, just all of this before the Kinect era when they basically started ruining Xbox forever. But that we won't get into that. As you can see, not all of the icons change, just some of the main ones get changed. But this still looks pretty dang nice, in my opinion. Wallpaper, I don't think is quite as cool as the original Xbox One, but I do like the banner up here, from the top of a game case. Of course, this is a very nice picture of a launch model 360 with the silver launch trim. And of course the ring of lights, which sure that won't be any problem ever. They actually changed the start menu icon to the power button. It's pretty neat. You got that swirl aesthetic. I love everything about this theme. And I really wanted to showcase this theme because there's hardly any videos of this. There's not a ton of videos of the original Xbox theme either, but this one does not get as much attention as I think it really deserves, because this is really nice looking. Every single piece of Windows has been themed in some capacity. I don't believe this skins media player in any capacity. Yeah, we can see that it's still set as the original Xbox theme. So kind of sad that they didn't release a skin for that, but by 2006, which is when this theme came out, kind of early 2006 is when I seems to have come out. There was a blog post on the Xbox blog from Major Nelson that would announced this, and I believe that was March of 2006. So I think by 2006, Microsoft was kind of moving away from the old media player. You know, they were gearing up for Vista and whatnot. So it kind of makes sense, I guess. The one thing I think that isn't changed is the sound effects. I don't believe that they changed, like, the sounds at all. Yeah. There's no custom sound scheme, unfortunately. Would have been really cool if, like, you turned it on and it played the 360, you know, boot animation sound. That'd be pretty neat. Now we need to check out what these other ones are, because I don't know what the heck these are about. Why? I always thought there was just one. Ooh, okay, we got a bit of a different wallpaper. Got a bit of a darker theme. I think I like this better. I think this is kind of hidden. Is it just the wallpaper? I think it's just the wallpaper that's different. Okay, so it's just the wallpaper that changed. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. Would have been sick if there was like a dark mode version of this. Let's see what Xbox 360 full does. This looks the same, except the title bar is a little bigger. I think that's the only change, because yeah, it didn't change like the icons or anything. Okay, so that just changes the title bar thickness, I guess, depending on your preference. And let's see what the light version does. If I had to guess, it probably makes it smaller. Okay, yep, that's smaller. Okay, that's different though. This is like across the entire title bar now. This is some very interesting differences. I wasn't expecting this, but I'll be honest, I think the black one, purely for the slightly different wallpaper, but with the standard kind of looking elements of the regular theme. Now this, I think this looks the best, in my opinion. Would have been cool if they kind of implemented the, like, blades interface into some of this, but sadly we don't get any of that. But other than that, I think this is fantastic. This looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, if you guys want to try this out, the link will be in the description for you to download both of these, and along with the media player skins. And that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to kind of document these, show these off. Anniversary of both the original Xbox and Xbox 360 is coming up here pretty soon in November. So, especially the 360 is turning 20 years old now, so what a more fitting celebration, I guess, than a weird kind of forgotten about Windows XP theme, I guess.